Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So since couple of days I've been having serious cold and fever, so I was not able to focus on to building something new for today's video. And I've been also
Not
busy with
make
some
time
other stuff
to
to build something fancy. But instead, if you have read the title and if you have clicked on this video, you know it that in this video we're going to be building this website, and we're going to be making this contact form fully functional. And by functional, we mean that whenever the user enters or adds any message and sends it, you're going to be getting the email or the message in your email address that you add here. And for that, you do not need any knowledge of PHP or maybe Node.js and stuff like that. So you just need to be able to build website using HTML and CSS, and then you can start getting emails from the user, whoever adds the message and sends you. So you do not need anything else. You just need to be able to create the form and then you're done. So we're going to be doing that in this video, and I have added the timestamps underneath in the description, so you can check. So if you just want to see how to add this form, you can go down and check it. Now, if you are new to this channel and if you haven't subscribed yet, please make sure to subscribe the channel and turn the notification bell so that you never miss any of my videos. And yeah, if you like this video, please share it with your friends and family, and make sure to comment down below what you want me to do next. Let's see you in the video. So this is the page where I have this form. Now here in the name, let's say I write test and I add an email. Let's say test at gmail.com. And then in the address, let's say test address from YouTube, let's say something like that. And when you click on this submit form, it loads and it shows that your form has been submitted successfully. You can click on this go back and you're going to be taken back to your original page. Now you can also do it from your local machine, so you do not actually need to upload the file in any server or sort of like that. You can directly use it from your local machine. So you have it here. Now let's check our email. So for this, I have added a dummy email address, so you can generate temporary emails from this temp mail. I'll add the link to this as well in the description so that you guys can test out. So for this video purpose, I have added this temp mail and I have added this dummy email wherein we're getting the email. So this is the email that I just sent. Let's open it up. So it says that hello, and it says a new form has been submitted on your website. Details below. And then here you have the details, which says test at Gmail and then test address from YouTube. So we basically are using an API for this. So the API would be down in the description as well, so you guys can check that out. So without further delay, let's see how to build this. So this is the page design. Now I have this live server on, so you can see my empty index.html file. So we're going to be seeing this uploaded version just so that I can explain you what is actually going on. So in the page, you see we kind of have two sections. So we're going to have one for content and one for form. Now everything would be wrapped inside of a main tag. In the background, you would see that we have a video going on, and then on the top, we kind of have an overlay. So what we're going to be doing is, let's open VS Code, and in the body, first let's add a main tag, and we're going to add the video. Now the source code of this project is also in the description, so you make sure to check it out. And so in the description source code, you would get the video as well. So we have the video here, and we want the video to be auto playing, and we don't want any sound, so we're going to just mute it, and we're going to set the loop as true since we want the video to keep playing once it ends. And then we need this overlay div just so we can have this gradient dark effect. All right, now I'll just yeah, so now let's add the content, and here we're going to add the heading which says Eventia. If you see here, it says Eventia. So each character would be inside of a span. Since I was planning on having sort of like an animation, but then well, I thought it would be too much for this video. So maybe in different video, if you want, we can add animation. And if you have been following my videos, you know how to add animations, so you can add the animations yourself if you want. Now I'll just add each character into a different span. So here you have it. And yeah, and then once the heading is done, you're going to add the tagline. So I'll just paste in the tagline. Okay, let's scroll down. This is it. And then we have the CTA, wherein we have two buttons. Now we have two types of buttons, so we're going to name as BTN1 and BTN2. In the BTN1, we also have an SVG graphic, an arrow icon sort of. So I'll just add the SVG here as well. And for the second one, we're going to call it BTN2, and we're going to add learn more. And with that, the HTML is almost complete. Now we just need to add the form. Now for the form, we're going to be using the Web3 API. So you can come here and you can type Web3 forms, and you can hit enter, and you're going to be getting this URL in the first option. So you're going to click onto this, and here it says that you do not need to create an account. You can just create your access key, which basically can be created by adding here the email address. Now in this case, since I have already generated an access key using this temporary email, so what I'm going to be doing is let's delete this email. Let's delete the email, and let's generate a new email. So we have this new email. We're going to be copying it, and we'll just paste it here. Now this will send an access key to our email. Let's click on this create access key, and then let's wait. It says that the email is sent. Let's come here and let's wait. So Web3 Forms has submitted or sent us the access key. So here we have the access key. Now before using that, we need to see some stuff. So for the contact form, you can come here in the docs, and let's go to the examples. Let's click on this basic HTML contact form. Now it has given us this basic HTML form. Let's copy this. You can copy here and you can paste it here. So now I'll just Control Z, since the form was already designed. So I have here the form with the action submitting to the API Web3 Forms, and then the method is post. And then here we need the heading, so I'm going to be adding the heading here, and then I'll add an extra, since this is for the event X, so I'll add that. And then here we need an input hidden. If you see here, we need an input hidden with the name of access key, and here we have the value. So let's save. And so this value is for the old email which we just deleted. We're going to be swapping it with the new one. And then we need type of text, email, message, and input type hidden, which can be redirecting us to the Web3 Forms success page. So I'll just quickly paste in. So I have added this extra placeholder name just so that we can know what is actually we need to enter in which input. So we have placeholder name, we have one for email, and one for address. Now if you are manually adding these inputs, make sure to add the name here, because this is how the API is grabbing onto your data. So make sure to add the name here and then specify the name. So add this name attribute along with the value. So here I have also added the text area for the address, and then I need one input hidden which will redirect us to the page that you want. Now if you have built a custom page, you can add the URL here to that specific custom page if you want. Now we have it here, and then the next thing that we need to do is add our submit button. So I'm going to add submit button. Now I'll just add the class of btn1, since this is going to be similar to this btn, just the thing would be it won't have the svg. So I'll add that, and with that our html is complete. Now let's style it and let's see. So for the styling, in the body, let's give it width and height of 100 viewport height and 100 viewport width. And then overflow needs to be hidden with color white. Font family would be Poppins. Now I have imported here two fonts. One is Della Gothic 1 and then the second one is Poppins. So for the heading, we're going to be using the Della Gothic, and then for the rest of the stuff, we're going to be using Poppins. In the main, we're going to set position relative with height 100%, width 100%. Now display flex with justify content center, align items to center. Let's save. This is how it looks. Now rest of the stuff has been deleted. The reason for that is because now since we have added here overflow to hidden, so the only area that is visible is the viewport height, 100 viewport height and 100 viewport width. And then we want to add some padding in the main. And now we're going to target the video. We want the video to be kind of like behind everything. So we're going to position it absolutely. And we're going to set its object fit to cover with height and width of 100 viewport height, 100 viewport width. And we're going to position it top left along with the z index of -1 so that it is behind everything. Now you can see the video just behind all the text. All right. And then we're going to set the overlay as well as position absolute, since we want the overlay to cover the entire video. So we're going to give same width and height, along with the background needs to be linear gradient from right to left. So we're going to set to right. The first color is going to be a bit dark black. And then the second one would be transparent, since in the right side we don't want any color. And then we're going to need to add z index of -1, since we want this as well to be behind. Okay. And then we want to add mix blend to darken. Okay. Now we're going to add a backdrop filter of blur 4 pixels. What this would do is this would blur the background video. All right. And then we're going to target the content. We're going to give margin top of auto with margin bottom of 100 pixels. Target the heading, font family of Della Gothic, font size, and then the letter spacing of -10 pixels. Since you would see that if I remove it, you would see we have a lot of space here. So we're going to just remove it by giving a negative value. Then we're going to target the span. The first span that we had, we're going to change the color to yellow. The tagline, we're going to give font size, margin top, and also line height. And then for the tagline, this tagline, which like the strong tag that we're using, we're going to target that, and we're going to set the color and also increase the font size. Also margin left and right. Now we're going to target the CTA. Like we have two buttons, so we're going to target those. We're going to give display flex, and we're going to have a gap of 20 pixels. Now we're going to target the BTN, and then in the BTN we're going to set padding, outline, margin, and border, and also a font family along with font weight, and a border 1 pixel of transparent, since both of these would have different border. So the border property is already set. The only thing that we need to do is we need to set the color for each BTN1 and BTN2. Now the cursor needs to be a pointer with transition of 0.3 seconds. Since we would also have a kind of like a hover effect, so we need this transition. Now the display needs to be flex with justify content and align items at the center, since we have two items here and we want everything at the center, so we're going to just add that. Now gap of 5 pixels, and then we're going to target the BTN1. We're going to set its background and border color. Along with the SVG that we had, we're going to change the color to black. And then we're going to target the hover effect on BTN1. When we hover, we don't want any background, but the color needs to be white. Let's save. You can see. Now the SVG color as well, we need to change. We're going to target that as well when we hover onto the BTN1. And we're going to change the fill of the SVG as white. Now keep in mind that whenever you're changing the color of SVGs, you cannot use the property of color, since we need to add the property fill to change the color in case of SVGs. Now we're going to target the BTN tool. We're going to style it. We're going to give a background and also this border color of white and color. And on hover, we want to have background of white and color as black. So initially it looks like this. When you hover, you have this. Okay. Now we need to style our form. The form would have display flex and everything would be stacking. So we want flex to action the column. We're going to specify width, gap, and align everything at the center. Now the heading, this heading for the form, we need to decrease the size. So we're going to decrease the size along with the letter spacing. And then margin bottom of 20 pixels. We have a bit of gapping here. We can target the span, heading span, the last child, the X. And we're going to scale it up. And we're going to also have margin left of 5 pixels. You'll see that this doesn't really work. The scale doesn't really work. The reason for that is because we have span here. So we know that by default, spans are inline elements. So we can change them to inline block. And let's save. And here you have it. Now we can also change the color. And then we're going to target the input and text area. We're going to set padding, width 100%, outline none, border, also background. Let's save. And we want to have a backdrop filter here as well of blur 10 pixels and color white. Let's save. When you type, you have white. And then now we need to increase the height of this text area along with the placeholder colors. So let's target the text area. We're gonna give it height 120 pixels, and we don't want this resize option. You see this resize thing, we don't really want that. So I'm gonna write resize none. And then we're going to target the placeholders of input and text area, and we're going to change their colors along with giving them a font family of Poppins. Right? Let's refresh. Yeah, now we cannot resize it anymore. Now we're going to target the input, and whenever we focus onto any input, we're going to give border color of this. Wait a second. We're going to give this border color of this. Let's save. Whichever input you're focusing, you'll be given this. Now, let's add the access key here. So we're going to copy this new access key. In the HTML, we're going to add this access key. Let's save. Okay. Now let's try to add an email from a local machine. We're going to call it Hank the tank @gmail.com. Now this isn't my real Gmail. So test from local machine. Okay. Let's hit register. And yeah, it says that form submitted successfully. Let's go back. It's going to take us to our local machine. And here, let's go back to the list. Let's see. So we have a new email. Let's open it and see. So it says a new form has been submitted on your website. The details below, the name is Hank. Email is hankthetank@gmail, and then it says test from local machine. So, and then also you can see the URL. So it was sent from the local machine with HTTP 127.0.0.1 and with a port of 5500. So yeah, this is it for today's video. So hope you guys learned something. The source code is down in the description. You guys can download and play around. Now, if you are new to the channel, if you haven't subscribed yet, please make sure to subscribe, and also please share my videos. And I've realized that a lot of the viewers that watch my videos do not actually subscribe. So please help me by subscribing to the channel so that it helps you and as well as motivates me to make more such amazing content. So yeah, with that being said, we are done, and let's meet you guys in the next video. Till then, bye bye. Have a good day.